All right, hey there. Great to be back. Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital. Hope you guys had a great July 4th weekend, holiday weekend here if you're in the U.S. or anyway, U.S. citizens living somewhere, right? But even if you aren't, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Had a good move up by Bitcoin, but we still need to see a little bit further up there, and we'll talk about that today. Dollar rallying pretty well this morning, kind of knocked some people back. Weren't surprised. Oil taking a just a step off the cliff this morning. Stocks still doing what stocks are doing. Nothing surprising there. What else we got? We got copper continues to drop. We've talked about that being kind of this bellwether of how the economy is doing. That along with oil. And so both not looking healthy at all. Of course, natural gas down as well. Silver and gold down. Man, just pretty much everything, right? So we'll take a look at all that. Hopefully you guys are doing well. It's just a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Tuesday, the 5th of July, 2022. Good to be with y'all. Coming live from Bernie, Texas. Who's here already? Name Mr. Wilkes. Sunday Ibuka. Good to see you. Jared the Great, what's up, man? He says, shorting this Ponzi to zero. Abdel, what's up, man? Good to see you. Blaze, checking in. Failure is simply a chance to learn. That's right. That's right, guys. Listen, I talk a lot about the psychology of it, right? Because especially if you're coming in here and you're listening in, this should be what you're listening to most, more than what I talk about how to actually, decide where price is going or whatnot. Understanding how your emotions and the psychology of what you're looking at plays into how you trade, as well as understanding how it plays into everybody else, is going to do you the most good, guys. It is probably the biggest thing that if you take the time to learn is really going to help you as far as understanding the market goes. Now, nothing, guys, guarantees that you're going to know what's going on at any time in particular. You might think you're guaranteeing something because you have a strong emotional attachment to whatever you're saying. But, at the end of the day, guys, you're humans, right? We're all human beings. Our brains are not, as complex as they are, we are not able to understand every, the result of every action we take, or every possible course of action, and every possible course of action within that. So that big, huge decision tree. So how could we possibly know where something is definitely going to go? We don't. And so we work with what we understand, and we use really good risk management, right? So if you aren't taking risk management seriously yet, I'm telling you guys, man, you need to do it. It's going to make the difference between being a profitable trader and being just a regular retail trader, guys, that keeps feeding money to the market, all right? Now, I say that, and I know most of you still probably won't listen and still won't do that. It is what it is. Lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? So hopefully you guys are listening, though. The few of you that are going to see a big change in your trading if you take proper risk management seriously. Proper risk management. Anyway, so who else is here? Travis, what's up, man? You still in New Braunfels? Data, good to see you as always. Wind beneath wings. Oh man, yeah, it was a good weekend. I think I need a weekend from my weekend, basically. Mike Slane, Hangry Patrick, good to see you guys. Sevilla checking in from Chicago. Man, be safe over there. The south side, right? It's a dangerous area. But the other side of Chicago looks pretty nice. I've actually never been to Chicago, out of all places. Never been to Las Vegas either. I don't gamble, so there's that. Andrew, what's up, man? Happy hangover day? Let's see here. No, I didn't get a chance to watch Scott's stream. He has a lot of crypto on the Vald platform. So here's the thing, guys. Those out there that do what I do or that seek to be influencers, right? Which goes, I don't try to do that. I just do my thing here, right? And, if you want to learn, you learn. If not, you don't. But we often are inundated with a lot of companies that request us to partner with them and to push their products, right? And so for me, if you guys have been following me for any length of time, there's very, very, very few companies. 5 years I've been doing this now. I think there's only like 3. And I've got one that I just partnered up with. And you'll hear me talking about them more. But that's it, guys. At the height, of the bull market there, everybody was with Voyager and Celsius and all these things, right? And they're pushing all this. And you guys might have remembered, somebody came on and asked me, I remember somebody came on and asked me, well, which one are you interested in? Which one are you going to do? And I said, I'm not going to do any of them. And I said, I'm not going to do it because the rates of return were stupid. 11, 15%, 20% more. I mean, it just kept going up. It was crazy. There was no way that was sustainable. And I said, what would probably happen is when the bull market ended and things started coming down, when we had our big correction like we always do, a lot of them were going to have a lot of trouble. And what that means is a lot of people that are that have their money on those platforms, their crypto and whatever, are probably going to lose it. Here's what we're seeing now. It's sad, man. It's really sad. But, people tend to be greedy, right? I mean, it's human nature, guys. And I don't think in human nature people are necessarily mean either. I think we're just lazy. And so we try to take the fastest way to get where we want to go. And if somebody gets hurt along the way, well, we didn't mean that, but, it's part of the game, right? And I think that's the way human beings generally act. So I don't think that people are generally, in general, guys, some people are pretty evil, but aren't really evil in general. I think people are just lazy and they try to find the quickest way to do what they're trying to do or the quickest way to get away from whatever pain they're feeling, right? And so that is all the people that put money into these platforms, as well as the people running these platforms. I mean, as we start to, as these things are starting to unwind and unravel now, you start to see just how leveraged these companies were. And they had all this money and then, they had this great idea, they thought, and then all of a sudden they had too much money, didn't know what to do with it. So they're basically forcing themselves, because they have these other ridiculous returns they have to pay out, into putting the money into higher leveraged things and riskier things. And all it takes is one fool to knock it all down, right? And so, unfortunately, that's where it goes. And, that's why I wasn't interested. That's why I told you guys I'm not interested in it at all. Sure, there's money to make at the time. There's always money to make, guys. You have to understand. Some people, they see trading as evil, right? So they see it as, oh, you're making money off the people who are being hurt, right? If you're shorting the market as it's going down or something. And no, you can't think of it that way. That's just silliness. If there's an opportunity, you make money, but when these opportunities are really crazy and just really out of touch with reality, like, all these high APIs and everything were, I don't know, for me personally, guys, I'm not very risky when it comes to trading. I'm a lot more risk adverse, and so it keeps me out of things like that. I'm not interested in trying to make $1 million overnight or anything, or making some just stupid returns on it. It doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I mean, it sucks, man. It sucks. So, the lesson I think that you learn from is that if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. I think that's the way it is. And when it comes to trading, when you're following somebody and they're guaranteeing you that price is going to do A, B, or C, even if they've been right a time or two, you have to understand that guaranteeing what's going to go on with price action doesn't, if somebody's doing that, again, either one, they really believe they can, in which case you're going to find out at the worst time that they can't, or two, they know they can't, but they're going to tell you what they need you to hear so that you follow them and, they can make money off you, with influencing or whatever else they're doing, all that partner stuff. You guys, you've got to, and see, here's the thing. As new traders, we come in, and the way we think about the market, we usually come in as the market's already rallied up, right? We're coming in at the top usually, right? And so we see all that and all that, all the emotion and that FOMO, that fear of missing out, and it's always going to go up. It can't ever go down, and we do this and we're not thinking without emotion, right? And so I think one of the worst things you can do is you can get into something that you don't understand and just start jumping into it without even any real understanding. The problem is there's so much free information online now, guys, so much more than when I first started, because there was really no online. But there's so much freely available or really cheap information out there. And much of the time, guys, you're going to get what you pay for. And it's not just in trading, but it's just in life, I'm a firm believer that if you want to learn something, you want to do something, you hire a coach or somebody, right? You hire somebody that can teach you so that you don't have to make all those mistakes they made and lose money and or time or what, or get frustrated or whatever else, right? So yeah, I think, again, the lesson to learn from this is to take heed when you're feeling FOMO, when things seem too good to be true. And especially if you're jumping into something that you don't know, something that you don't understand, you don't really have a gauge for what's maybe seems too good to be true, right? So yeah, I think that's probably the best lesson that you can learn from there. And so if you don't know what's too good to be true, then maybe you hold off and you learn a little bit first before you jump into it, right? The idea, guys, is to make money, right? If you're a trader, the idea is to make money over time where you're making more than you're losing. It's not to get rich tomorrow. If that's your goal, you're going to lose your money, period, end of sentence. You just are, guys. You might get lucky every once in a while. Somebody you're following might get lucky every once in a while when they're guaranteeing you something. But man, oh man, that isn't how you trade or how you do it for any length of time successfully. You can't do this job, guys, for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years without getting beyond that. You have to understand risk management is the key, period, end of sentence. Most important thing you're ever going to do as a trader, day in and day out. And it's not sexy. It's not really fun. But you know what is fun? Looking back, every few months or whatever, and looking and seeing your account growing over time. And sometimes you're going to have down months for a few months, and sometimes you're going to have up months for a few months. It's just the nature of trading, guys. But the goal is over the long run to be making more money than you're losing, okay? So, proper risk management is definitely the key there. So hopefully that makes sense, guys, okay? It's awful that people unfortunately are potentially losing their money or are losing their money or have lost their money with these things. But again, in life, failure, when you fail at something, you can look at it as either the end, right? And if it's the end, you basically see it as you're a victim and you have no control over your life, right? That's what it means. If, however, you see failure as an opportunity to learn, I guarantee that you're going to become better, not just at what you're doing, but just as a person. Turning those things that you fail at into learning experience so you can grow. That's the only way we can grow, guys, is by failing along the way. But it's all in how you view it when it happens. All right? Imagine Texas West Capital being presented by Disney or Walmart. Hey, Deadly, what's up, man? Chance, what's up? What's up, man? Let me see here. Travis, you're in New Braunfels for another 4 or 5 days. That's awesome, man. Enjoy your time there. Let me see here. But anyway, so guys, listen, I know a lot of people, they come in here first time and they're like, oh, I speak a little bit here at first. I talk about, emotions and things and psychology because that's the most important thing you're going to get out of the show. But, a lot of people come in and they hear that they just want price points. They're just like, where's price going? And again, those types of people, unfortunately, will end up losing their money. You can't, you've got to understand what you're doing here. You got to get some sort of semblance of understanding, right? I mean, we're going to be wrong occasionally. I'm wrong, right? So the shorter the time frame, the more often you're going to be wrong. But look at the bigger picture. Bitcoin has done what we've talked about it doing, topped out there in 2017 where we said dropped down in 2018. We said it looks like the bottom there, barreled through 4,000, 6,000. As we said when everybody else was saying it was going to go down. We gave you that top there in June of 2019. And then on that drop, oh man, everybody remember that drop there? The whole BitMEX thing and whatever, March of 2020 down there. When we were pulling back up about 4,100 or so, 4,200, I was doing that live with our members and mentioned that it looks like the bottom's in, let's go ahead and go up. And then I said, well, it looks like potentially a larger correction going in. And so maybe up to around, 25,000 or something, 30,000, we could see like a wave B and then a wave C down, right? And that did materialize. But you have to make sure that you're also listening to what I'm saying, because I said, listen, it has to, once it's up there, it has to come down below, wave, wherever I'm giving you those targets, right? And if it doesn't, then, and it breaks out and goes higher instead, then as I said, that's invalidating. We look higher. Unfortunately, we still get people go, oh, look, you were so wrong, blah, blah, blah. Like it's a first of all, it's not a big thing to be wrong, guys. Second of all, it is a big thing if you're not paying attention, though, right? And so then, of course, called the top there around April of last year, right? And then the bottom there again, when everybody was calling for the bottom there, right? After that. And so, I mean, so the bigger things, and this is just Bitcoin, right? Called the bottom with the dollar. When everybody else was screaming, no, it can't possibly rally up. It's got to go lower. Talked about the top there with the indexes, right? And NASDAQ leading it, and Tesla, and what that would mean when Tesla rolls over. I mean, all these things, right? So what I'm saying all this is that if you learn anything from this, it's that larger time frames are much easier to deal with. The smaller your time frame, the more often you're going to be wrong, which means the more important proper risk management is. The more important understanding your emotions and what's going on with you is. Because you don't want to get caught revenge trading when you're just on a series of losses. It happens, guys. It happens at times. It's going to. And sometimes it's going to say, like, man, am I ever going to get this right? And then you do. And then things are fine. But all of this, guys, whether you're really going to win or lose as a trader, honestly, is all right here. And so that's why I decided to, why I'm going to kind of, what we're doing with the show here, we're going to move it to where I just pre-record a couple of videos during the week, giving you the charts, real quick videos, maybe 15 minutes, maybe something like that. And then we're going to start maybe I don't know yet, weekly, bi-weekly trader psychology type of podcast, live stream thing that I'm going to do, because that is the most important thing, guys. And that's going to correlate there with the Trade Psych newsletter. By the way, you can jump on Substack. I've got a few different newsletters on there we're going to be releasing here over the next month or so. So make sure you guys get in with that. Some of them will be paid at some point, but you'll never be charged unless you agree to it, guys. So don't worry about, you get signed up now and all of a sudden they charge you. It's not going to happen. They're all free right now. And so like I said, over the next month or so, we'll get those out. But the idea is to really help you guys get your mindset where it needs to be, because again, when you come in as traders, you think the market is one way, and unfortunately it's not. It's usually much different. But most traders have a closed mind, and they aren't able to stick around long enough to understand that. So hopefully you guys will. Hopefully you guys will. Diego, what's up, man? You're on the larger time frame only these days. Yeah. I mean, whether it's because you're busy or not, I mean, that's the smart thing to do. Again, we'll kind of look at that, okay? Ryan, what's up? You said they know they're well, they're not really a sponsor. I just partner with them. And so, I use their platform. I like the idea of, being able to pay like a certain, bid for a monthly, for, unlimited monthly kind of spot trading, and they have to leverage there and whatever. I mean, is there any concerns about them? I mean, I think there's concerns about any exchange, honestly. I don't think there would be anything specific to Femix. I think it's pretty much any exchange out there. I mean, again, guys, when we talk about that whole thing about, not your keys, not your crypto kind of thing, right? I've talked many times in the past about risk management, and risk management isn't just the trade you're in, but it's also the environment. So what's going on with the environment that you're trading, and what's going on with the market that you're trading, and what's going on with the platform that you're using, right? Or the broker, especially FX, something like that. I see a lot of people trying to go in with these small, kind of shady FX brokers who, they have these huge 1,000 times, leverage and just ridiculous. And these really low rates or whatever, and the idea is to suck you in thinking, I can get in with a few bucks and use this really huge leverage. I could be rich overnight. And, it's just the same thing. It's really nothing specific to crypto, guys, honestly. If you've been watching me for the last 5 years, you'll know I came directly from Forex, most recently, the FX market. And I used to talk often at the beginning about how crypto was so much like the FX market, in terms of the leverage and kind of, why the people get into it and all this kind of stuff, but without all the regulation. So you guys just got to be careful of that. Like I said, I haven't seen anything with Femix that would suggest, hey, that they're a real big issue at the moment or anything like that. But I think just in general, if you're trading on any platform, I mean, that's kind of just where we're at, right? It sucks, man. It sucks. It is what it is. And as long as things are unregulated, that's something that you're always going to have to kind of worry about. It's kind of the price you pay, right? Unregulated means kind of Wild West, which means potential for a lot of money to be made, potential for a lot of money to be lost, and in certain ways, right? Some specific to the market you're in. For instance, if you had your money with Voyager or something like that, where they're suspending withdrawals and all that. And, and I know they give the reason, I think I've seen the reason. They're just like, well, we're trying to make sure that you guys, survive this and whatever. And survive what? Their poor business model? I mean, it's kind of, you should be frustrated with it, even if you aren't in it, guys. They go up there and they say, this, they give you all this. They have this business model, right? And then it doesn't work. And all of a sudden everything comes crashing down. And now they're going to hold your money. They're going to hold your money, not theirs, your money. And they're going to say, but it's for your own good. Because if we don't, well, guess what? You're going to lose your money. Well, hell, I pretty much lost my money anyway. With you, being involved like you are in that kind of situation, your business model. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating, guys, for sure, right? Let me see here. Deadly, what's up, man? He says that drop in 2020 was wild. I'm also only on larger time frames these days. I learned that over the years, and the emotion is really gone by focusing on the bigger picture and not worrying about being in the game all the time. Hey, I mean, I appreciate that we were helpful, man. That's what it's been all about. And, so you always get people, with me or with anybody else, and they won't ever get it. They won't ever understand what they're supposed to understand. And so they'll continue to do things the way they've always done things, and they'll lose money, and they'll say, it's so-and-so's fault. You guys have to be smarter than that. You have to move beyond that. As long as you continue to do the same things you've always done, you're going to get the same results you've always got. Period, end of sentence, right? Let me see here. Ryan, what's up? You said they do offer lending in Singapore-based. Not saying these are two strikes against them, but sticking with top-tier FTX Binance exchanges at the moment. Yeah, that's something. Sure. Yeah. I mean, you still got to, of course, be careful even with FTX and Binance, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with staying with the bigger ones as well. Yeah, for sure. Wazobia, Sylvia, what's up, guys? All right, guys. So, hey, you can join us at howtotradetowin.com. Make sure you guys go. I've gone ahead and God, man, you guys loaded up my DMs over the weekend. I was trying to have a nice weekend. So we had this 40% off sale going here that ended yesterday, but I got so many requests and everything, and I don't know. I guess I'm just nice. I don't know. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and let this run through the rest of this week. So if you missed last week or you weren't able to take advantage of it at that time, here you go. You've got it through the end of the week. And I went ahead and added 5 more coupons with the 20% off. So there are 5 more now, haven't been used yet. So, first come, first serve, guys. But that's it. I mean, I don't mind jumping out here and helping out, whatever, but I got to kind of cut it at some point, right? By the way, those of you there, I know there's some of you that have been with us a long time, and you've always asked about lifetime memberships, and I've always said no. I think I've just about got it settled that we're going to go ahead and do maybe 5 or 10 of them. That's it. And I'm not sure that we'll ever do them again. But if you have paid ahead, if you have some, like some of you guys have picked up on our sales along the way, and if you've done that, and you're interested in the lifetime, I'm willing to apply what you have already paid, from what you've got left from what you paid from now forward, to that. So, I'll let you guys know about that. I'll post something about that. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So, there it is, guys. You guys can jump on there. If you don't, at least come back to the show while it's here and watch the videos and everything, because there's so much, very good stuff that you guys need to know as far as traders. And especially if you're new or being new means also you could be in it for years and just not be successful consistently over time, profitable over time. And, but you're still kind of a new trader at that point. You haven't made that step yet. It's not saying anything about you as a person or anything. It just says you haven't, realized yet that there's this other step that you need to take. There's a little bit further that you need to go. And so hopefully by listening, to these things I say, that'll, make something kind of shake in your head there and you go, oh, okay. And then it'll do better there. All right. So let's look here real quick. Higher Low Crypto says if you can't afford tier 2, tier 3 is super cheap for what you're getting, especially at this price. Yeah, there's that as well, guys. For sure, for sure. Let me see here. Let me see. So here's Biddy again. We're kind of taking a look at this throughout the week, right? And so we were looking for that wave 5 to finish up here. It looks like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And if so, maybe an ABC here. Well, let me pull this down here a bit because it didn't quite go as far as I was looking for it to go. Remember, we're using the line chart here because the candle chart, because the volume is so low, it's just really a pain in the rear end to try and figure out here. But you see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there to finish it out. Let me see here. Yeah, and this may be actually 4 maybe actually over here. Well, it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This might be a triangle right here. So you come A, B, C, D, E, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me go ahead and change that out. I think that's what we got there. There we go. Something like that, I think. Okay. Now here, I mean, this could be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of thing here. So get us a 1, 2. We'll have to see if this is A, B, C coming down. Generally, we look for wave 2 to start, to target at least that wave 4 area there. So that's the 50% retracement around $41. If we keep on going through there, then things start getting a bit interesting and we might see this heading lower. This is only a 15-minute chart though. We're finding support right here on that pivot. So you really need to see a breakdown through this pivot here. But there is this gap, there are other gaps along the way there. And, we're basically just on the, no, we're just neutral right here at about 47 on RSI. Stoke RSI is down and oversold, but not bottomed out. Still has further it can fall. I can't get this stupid thing. Come on, there we go. All right. And, man, look at that volume that came in at the top here. Look at that. Right up there. That's definitely the top right there. We came down. We rallied back up. Got some volume coming off that. But then we followed lower, you see. And here we go again. We have a lot of volume coming right here. The top there. Here we go. So now we've got volume picking up for a couple of candles in a row trying to break down through this support area here. And I think we'll get that. I think we're headed down lower. So we'll see. Like I said, if this is an ABC, we'll look for initial target here at about 41. Though trading pivots, I would generally look at the S1 pivot, which is about 70.5 down here. So if it continues through 41, we'll look down here at around 39.80, 39.90, around that area. If we keep on breaking down through that, then things get kind of interesting, though, and there's a good chance that we might be starting 5 down. And so, again, if this short ETF is heading down, in general, that should mean that Bitcoin is expected to rally higher. So we'll continue to watch that there, right? Oh, these gaps? No. A lot of these gaps here are just the low volatility, the volume. I mean, yeah, there's going to be gaps, your daily gaps and whatnot, like right here, right? This one right here. Right there it is. So like that one right there is, a daily gap. But there's a lot of gaps in there as well. But it's just because that volume here is generally so low in here. I mean, look, even this volume right here was 15.114K. I mean, that's it. That's it right there on the 1 hour. So it's very, very small volume overall. So you're going to get a lot of these big moves up and, big moves down. And what I mean by big moves, they leave gaps consistently. So, yeah. But anyway, so, yeah, that's what we're going to look for there, right? Man, here we go. So this weekend, so short the short. Yeah, right? So this weekend, offices were closed and everything, but, I do this sometimes when it feels like it's kind of important. I made multiple updates this weekend for our members as this was playing out. And so we've got this idea as of this morning that we've got basically a 1-2. But like I told Discord, our Discord members, What we really need to see is a breakout up here above wave circle 1. So that's up here at big picture wise on the smaller time frames. It's 677.64. We got to get a breakout above that. If we can't do that and instead we break down below wave circle 2 here, that's most likely going to mean we're going to take out this wave parentheses Roman numeral 2 here. And that would then mean that most likely instead of the bottom being in here, coming in here, wave 4 would still be in progress over. So this would be 3. So instead of 3, 4 here in red, we'd have 3 down here, 4 up here, and this would just be an ABC. And then we'd have 5 heading down to finish up 4. And in that case, minimum expected target of 15,415. And then, let me see, let me get rid of this now. Yeah, so that's what we look for as a minimum expected target there, 15,415, if that were to happen. Now, oh, there we go. So if we look at this, we can notice that, volume dropping off as this range is kind of playing out. We had a big bit of volume come in here. You can see it right here. Was this rally up, which got rejected. But here's the thing. Again, it found support here. So this is why it's important to see, do we break out above here? Because if we do, then this gives credence to the idea that this was just opening up the way to head up. Remember, it's not enough just to have that volume spike at the top or bottom. You have to have follow through, right? And so in this case, this is a lot of supply coming in, which is why price came down, but it found support here. And here we go rallying up, pulling back, finding support a little bit higher here. So, again, higher lows, higher highs coming off here, right? So if we can take that out, that starts, that should have you a little bit excited at that point. Now, don't get emotionally trading. But, yeah, if we're poking at above that, that's a good clue that we're probably going to break out above the swing high here. And that adds a lot of local confidence anyway to the idea that wave 4 is complete down here. And this is one with a flat. Now, the one with the flat makes a lot of sense. Why? Because we're getting them at the lows, right? Remember, guys, we've had flats at the lows. We had it over here. Remember? Again, this is that point where all your big accounts were shouting at you to short it down here. And we said, no, as long as it remained where it is here, it looks like a flat. And we're probably going to get a strong move up. And that's what we got, right? So we went 1, A, B, C, right? This right here is very similar to this right here, right? Dipping down into the wick there where the demand is. Same thing going on here. And trying to rally up. So now we just need to see if there's some follow through. So, again, don't be like, oh, it's not going to happen like that or whatever. There's a good chance it will. We've got a bullish cross here on the daily. Again, even if we look at this 4-hour here, this overall range. So we've got this range right here, guys. Volume dropping off. Now, could it be that maybe there's a triangle forming here? Sure. Maybe this is A, B, C, D. This would have to be an ABC, which I think we can kind of count an ABC out of that. And we kind of expect it to go lower. The other thought is maybe A, B, and then A, B, C. So we'll get C, and then we'll have D, and then we'll have E, and then we'll come down. But again, breaking out above this swing high up here at 21,866 eliminates that triangle idea. Now, why else could it potentially be a triangle? Because, again, volume is dropping off. Price is consolidating for now. Okay? So we have to keep it in mind, guys. I'm not here to guarantee you it's going to go up, but you guys know where I've bought in. I've put that, out there on Twitter, right? Screenshots, right? So, originally bought down here, bought a couple more times, right? So, in my idea right now is if the bottom's in, then these are going to be great payoffs. If not, they close out, near the entries, so there's not really losing anything. But that's because I have a specific goal in mind right now, guys. It's not just simply, otherwise I would have sold right up here, right? Because this rally right up to what was the 1-hour pivot at the time. So if I was only looking to make a few bucks, that would have been the place to sell, right? But again, looking for this to potentially head up higher. Worst case scenario, comes down, knocks me out prior to my stop loss. I break even or a little bit of money. And then we're looking lower down. So, grand scheme of things, not too bad a setup there, right? ARM, what's up, man? Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, I think you were just talking about what I said. Maybe a triangle going here. Yeah, easy to see. I mean, because look, if this is a one with a B here, right, with AB, I mean that's three waves, right? Um, this would have to be three here. So the question is, how do you get three here, right? Well, this would be 3, 4, 5, right? So is this 2, 1? Okay. So then what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, because then it's just 3 down there. So I mean, trying to count this out as 3 is a little more difficult. I mean, maybe you could get a WXY out of it. That would probably be easier. But the 5 count seems pretty good for now anyway. And then we'll see how this all plays out again. 5 count here. Looks like a 5 count right here. But even on this, you could look at this and go, well, maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe A, B, and then C. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Don't trust people who are guaranteeing you things. You have to understand what the possibilities are and then know where your validation and invalidation levels are. If this is a triangle, then breaking out above this swing out here will get rid of any triangle that could be printing there, right? But if we continue to consolidate and then we break down below this swing low right here, that's a good indication that the triangle is complete and we're heading lower, right? So those are what we're watching. I mean, big picture there, right? For sure. Let me see here. Confidence on the break and hold over the pivot. Oh, don't worry. See, you guys, don't worry about what I think. Because what you think has no play on what's going on with the chart, right? The important thing is to have an understanding of where that validation and invalidation levels are, right? And I know that's frustrating for a lot of new traders because it's like, oh, well, why aren't you going to tell us what you think? Well, because it doesn't matter what I think. And if you're fortunate enough to pay attention enough and to really kind of understand these things I talk about so that you're in, in risk management especially, so that you're in the game for a while, you'll find out, yeah, it doesn't matter, or hopefully you will. You'll find out it doesn't matter what you think. The charts don't care what you think. The market doesn't care what you think or what you believe. So don't give it a whole lot of thought what myself or anybody else really thinks. Look for the movement, the validation and validation levels. Do that. Stick, we talk about crypto a lot, right? And crypto is all about this whole trustless thing, right? Well, trust without, without worrying about the other person, right? And so it's the same idea with trading, guys. I mean, it really is. Trust the invalidation and validation levels. Even if you're reading the chart wrong, if you're invalidated, then you should be out. And then if you're reading the chart wrong, that gets you out before it's going off crazy and you're still reading it wrong, right? Very important things there. Telluride, what's up, man? Yeah, so, I mean, I don't say that to be disrespectful or rude to any of y'all, but it's really important that you stop worrying so much about what somebody else thinks, even if they've been in the market for a long time. Yeah, we're going to give you our opinions and we're going to tell you why, but grain of salt, guys, grain of salt. Look at it and go, okay, well, I'm learning something, at least in the way they're looking at it, but that doesn't mean they're correct. And I think that's the really important lesson to draw from that, because otherwise you're just going to blindly follow what somebody else is saying, and you just set yourself up to get your rear end handed to you, unfortunately, with that, right? We don't want that. Anyway, so yeah, so locally, guys, let's break out above the 1 and 4 hour pivot here. If we can do that, that'll be, if we can do that impulsively, so expanding volume and candle spread, that'll add a lot to the idea that this is, again, 1, 2 heading up. By the way, this is only pulled back 70.5%. So that's that, that institutional kind of level. Really, really good place. You can see that it's, otherwise it's just pulled right here where this support and resistance is. Right here, right? So again, where you would expect it. In terms of what we've got here, we got this huge, so we had this bearish engulfing, right? Inside bar, bearish engulfing kind of thing going on. Is it inside bar? I can't tell. But, a little bit of a bearish engulfing, it looks like. And then you have the follow through here with this large supply-driven candle right here. And the volume, you know, picked up a little bit for that, but look at the volume on the next one. Huge, like another, what is that? Another 35% larger in volume. And if it almost flipped to bullish, right? But it printed this little doji. So there's a pause there suggesting there might be some follow through coming up, but then you need it, right? And so right now we're just kind of hitting this area where you've got this previous area of support resistance. So a nice impulsive breakout above that is what we want to see. Okay. Again, daily, there we go. I would say, you know, beyond that initial target, if we continue down on the daily below that 15, what did I say? 15,415. My next target would be this S1 daily pivot right here, right around 14,400 or so. That would be my next target. If this is a triangle playing out here, you know, your pattern target is going to be about, what is that, $4,320 below wherever wave E finishes. Usually pattern targets are wave 3s. So, you know, you'd potentially have a little bit further to go, but it gives you kind of like a blind target to look at, right? But you have to wait for it to finish out if it's a triangle. So we'll see. We'll see if it is. Let's jump back over here. This is kind of questionable here. Again, if we're zooming in real quick here, and then we'll jump to the other charts here, guys, real quick. You know, this looks like an ABC, right? And then this looks like an ABC, right? Or a WXY, right? So ABC, W, X, ABC is Y, right? So if this is 3 down and 3 up at the 90% level, again, 3 down, 3 up, you know, usually suggest, and then followed by 5 down suggests flat correction, right? But if this is ABC here, right, then again, this part of that triangle could potentially be part of the triangle, right? So this is one, and then this is, and you get it back up here. So to finish out E, and then you head down, right? Looking at it here, this is the questionable area right now. Right here. If we zoom into like the 5-minute, see this little doji candle here? So this could be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So a leading diagonal, right? And then ABC down. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get a 1, 2, 3 ABC. We're almost resetting down here, right? But this right here is questionable. So, you know, definitely want to see that breakout that it's talking about there above that 1 hour pivot and impulsively, right? But quite potentially could be, 1 is a leading diagonal here. 2 is up there. I mean, you know, this whole thing would be a diagonal, right? Unless this was 1, 2, and then 1, 2. That's a possibility as well. But you don't have to worry about all that, guys. It's a 5-minute time frame. What you're really interested in is, do you get an impulsive breakout above this 1 and 4 hour pivot here? And after that, if you take out 2432.75, that gives us a minimum expected wave, parentheses 3 target up here at 22.043. Slightly larger circle 3 target up here at the R2 pivot on the 1 hour, right around 22.730 or so. So that's what you look for. And so doing that will take us above wave B here, which adds confidence to this larger count, right? This 1, 2, 3 heading up. Kind of pull this out of the way here. And so with what's going on here, that will overextend wave 3 here. So we'll have to see. They might actually just get it up there right around that daily pivot area. We'll see. But right now we need to do this breakout here, because if we drop down there, then again, probably headed lower. All right. Hank, what's up, man? Hank's already looking at vacation again. Man, you Europeans and your holiday all the time. A little bit jealous. Let me see here. All right. So there's that, right? That's kind of what we're looking at there. Let's go ahead and jump here, guys, to the Dixie here, the DXY. Again, this is your big breakout area here. Here we go. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, daily right here, If we see continuation up through here, that's going to signal significant bullishness. This is something I've told you guys about multiple times. We've seen it a few times. When price, or whatever you're following here, moves in sideways between the pivot and the R1, and then blast up through that R1, continues the R2, usually we'll see a pullback to the R1, and then we'll continue all the way up through R5. It's a very bullish move usually, because most of the time what happens is you rally up to the R1 pivot area, and then you fall back to the pivot area, and then you break out higher and head up. So if you skip this rejection, retest, breakout, if you skip that 3-move set there, step, and it just basically just continues to go up higher from here, through the R2. Again, usually you're just going to get that pullback to the R1 and then head up all the way up to the R5, and it just signals, it denotes a really bullish kind of move for it. If I look at this, I go, okay, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be 1, 2, 3, and then this is a triangle here. So A, B, C, D, E, and 5 moving up here, right? So there's still some things that could happen. On the daily, we've got a lot of room in the Stochastic RSI and the RSI still to go. Candle's just taking off. But let's jump in here. And so I've kind of got this count going on there. A lot of triangles. But kind of look at the idea that 4 is here, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 is a triangle. Potentially rallying up in wave circle 5 here, but locally, this larger wave circle Roman numeral 5 heading up. But locally here, maybe a 1, 2, 3 triangle with a 4. 1, 2, really overextended 3 here. And then 4 on the pullback. Now, if 3 is complete here, that's almost the 4, 6, 1, 8, I think, extension. But as you see here, wave 4s initially usually have that 38.2 secondary test of 50 retracement. So that would be kind of, if this is done here, it continues back, this would generally be where I'd expect it to target. But with all this bullishness, it could just be just about done where it is and continue up higher. But let's say it gets down here. If it does, and the count's correct, which I don't know yet, but potentially up here at 107.335 to 107.20 area to finish wave parentheses 5, which would be wave circle 5, which would be wave Roman numeral 3. And so I think we're trying to break up either to the 108 here, to the supply structure, or, I don't know, however this plays out, maybe even the count might be off a bit, and we might be looking at this target area up here, this 113.93 to 114.335 kind of area. But man, oh man, that DXY is hot. And so we'll see, we'll see how it continues to push up. Either way, I think we're closer than not to the end, right? So even if we rally up there, yeah, it's a bit further, but I think, it kind of says that we're probably closer than not to being done at that point. So just kind of watching that. Let me see here. Let me see. Hank says, oh, wait, let me kind of catch up with you guys. You got some kind of questions here. Let's see here. Did DXY break out on the weekly large downward channel you showing us? Yeah, I believe so. Oh, and Tell Your Writer said, yeah, it did. He says, DXY appears to have broken the long-term down channel. If you guys are new or haven't been paying attention, what we're talking about is this thing that I've drawn up here for a while. Oh, I don't seem to have it on this. Do I have it on the monthly? Maybe I have it on the monthly. Oh, I don't have it on this chart. Oh, I see why, because this is the dollar index. The futures. By the way, guys, if you want to trade the dollar, the only place you're going to do that is here on the futures, on the ICE exchange, okay? But if we go back to the other chart I've got here, there we go. That's what we're looking at. Look at that. So as you can see, this is the breakout right here. And on the weekly, guys, remember what I told you about bullishness on that local time frame? This is what I'm talking about. You see how we moved in sideways between the pivot and the R1? And all we did was kind of pull back right to this area right here and then continued up and then pull back the R2 and we're continuing up. This should say that we rally up through the R5, which again gets us the target we're looking at, right? So again, if we zoom out here, these are a couple of different ways to look at this. So we've got this long-term channel right here, which as you can see broke out, retested, retested, break out higher, retested. So multiple retests here, and then sideways, and then break out higher, right? Based on that, basically 1, 2, 3 points. So more of a wedge here, which you can see with this other channel. If we go off these bottoms here and that. So you can go, start at the top, go to the bottom, go to the top to get that channel. And then you have start at the bottom, go to the top, go to the bottom to this channel. Basically, it builds this wedge here, right? Descending wedge. And so if we look at that as a target, right? Yeah, I know. Look at that number, guys. And we put this right here. Man, that goes all the way up here, 173. Now, guys, honestly, this is such a big time frame. There really is nothing to show for this. So I don't really right now take it seriously that we get to 173. But if we did, you saw it here first, right? But if we look right here at this other channel, this other wedge channel kind of thing, I mean, we could actually draw this one. Let me just draw with the triangle shape here. So we can actually look at it like this, right? See if I can kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about here. Yeah, it's not going to be so easy to do with that. But basically this wedge, right? And so it kind of goes... Kim, I'm going to do this. All right. It goes like... I guess probably be this here, right? And then this here. Now this one I like better as a target here because it's closer. That's 135. But even that doesn't get us over here where we were in 85, right? But, again, guys, if you're looking at pattern targets, that's kind of the idea. If we're headed into deflation, I mean, this makes a lot of sense, right? And I've been talking about deflation for a few years now, right? So makes a lot of sense. We'll see what happens with it. But man, oh man, nothing really going different from what I was talking about back at the beginning of 2021 in January, right? Yeah, nobody knows exactly how Bitcoin's going to behave in a recession. Same thing I've said so many times before, right? I'm not a big believer in the whole correlations thing because correlations are always great until they don't work all of a sudden, right? Oh, Christian, you were saying something about that. You saw a tweet saying that Bitcoin is correlated with copper and silver. Yeah, again, there's very few correlations that actually stand the test of time. And so I don't really follow them a whole lot, guys. You can maybe use a correlation to get like a general idea of what may be happening, but I think a lot of traders use them as exacts, and they're like, oh, well, look at the dollar's doing this. How can Bitcoin do that? Well, like this or like that, right? But yeah, so speaking of copper, let me show you something here real quick. So I've talked about copper for a bit here, guys, right? About it being a leading indicator for commodities and everything, kind of the, people call it Dr. Copper, right? So we've looked at this chart before, and we're saying, hey, we've got this big move down. We're down below $3.50 a pound now. This is on the COMEX market here. And so, again, the idea that maybe we've got this leading diagonal here and looking at potentially pulling down here toward this $1.32 area. And so why would it do that? Lack of demand, right? So copper's used so much across the industries that if copper prices are falling, it's because there's not that much demand for it, which signals generally that production's falling off, right? And if production falls off because the economy's going to crap, right? So that's how it works. So again, kind of looking at potentially, we can look at an as I talked about, initial target here of the wave 4 area right around $2 maybe, $2.10. But I would look for a bounce there, maybe get rejected around the 23.6 here. at about $3.05, and then look to see if we can get it followed here. If we break up through that, that might signal, especially if this just shows an ABC down, that wave 2 is done. We're headed higher. But yeah, so not only do I talk about this, right, guys? But we've got something here. Yeah, article by Market Watch here. With prices skirting a 17-month low, Dr. Copper's prognosis about the global economy is downbeat. And basically, this was released about 2 hours ago. They say the same things that I talked to you guys about the last few weeks, most especially. Okay, and so again, and what I just talked about there about the way that things, what it means for the economy and why, right? Let me see here. I saw some here. Let's see. Traders on the LME are holding their biggest net short position on copper futures since 2015. Some 60,000 contracts, according to Merrick's Analytics. Such lopsided positioning can cause a swift reversal higher in prices if copper bears are forced to exit those trades. Exactly. So, as I talk to you guys about every so often, when there's a strong move in the market like this, and you get these largest positions, especially in futures. Remember, this is the same thing I talked to you guys about right here with the DXY in January of 2001. Remember right down here? And I said that that they were basically like net short, something like 90 or 95%. It was like up there at the highest or nearest the highest it's ever been, the short positions. And so then we usually, with this market, usually that indicates that there's going to be a reversal. And that's, again, what happened there, right? Same idea here. Now, but I don't know that that necessarily means that we're done with copper, right? So I think you can get a sharp reversal here and rallies back up. And so if you get a bounce here, you're looking for a rejection at the bottom of this range here. So this is the weekly. And as you can see, maybe ABC, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let's kind of zoom into the weekly here. That's the monthly. See, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 1, 2, 3. So we get a 4 up. We should get a 5 back, right? So let's update this chart for a minute here. 2. Let me see here. Just make sure I got these right here. I know sometimes I do these real quick and I skip a degree. Let me see here. So maybe something like, see, this could be the A of going down. That's why we're going to watch this, all right? So I think right now we kind of look at this as we got a little bounce here, and then we'll have some further downside, and then we'll have some either A or 1 of A will be the reversal. Let me see here. All right, so now if this is 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, where are we at here? 3, 6, 1, 8, 4, 6, 1, 8. All right, so we got 2, 6, 1, 8 right there. Could see a rally off this kind of this low here. I might only see a move like that. Oops. Yeah, so I think copper's got a little bit further to go before it finishes up. Let's see if we can get a bounce right off that area there. At 38.2 kind of gets you around this area right here. 50 gets you up here. So yeah, we'll look for an initial target right around that S1 pivot on the weekly if we can get the reversal off this $3.30 kind of area, or it might even get all the way down to the EQ. It might do $3.20, but this kind of area. Look for the rally initial target right there. I think secondary target ends up being the range low there. That'll get you the 50% retracement. And then we'll have a move down. Again, depending where it goes, that S2 pivot looks good. Yeah, I could see maybe getting like a 4 up to here and then a 5 down maybe to this S2 pivot. And like I said, that either becomes A of, A of wave 2. So A will get B and then we'll get C here. or it's just wave 1, which means wave A could move even lower and send us down. You know, I mean, I've only got this right here on the 61. We could hit the 78.6, or gosh, if we're getting, 78.6. Look at how that is right here with the support resistance level right here, guys. Yeah, right there. So, yeah, I mean, if this is just one of A, we might get around this 38.2 and then up to the 23.6, and then we might overextend that wave C down here around, is that 95 cents a pound right there? Or it could, you know, obviously it could go lower, but that would be the target the way I'd look at it there. Let me see here. Do I know that most of the telephone network was done in copper? Since now we're moving more for an optical fiber network, copper will continue. Will keep to dump. Well, it's not just telephone networks. It's pretty much everything out there. I mean, there's so much that it's a part of, right? I mean, like gold, and gold has a lot of uses as well. You know, gold's even used in catalytic converters, which won't be such an issue with everything if everything went to electric vehicles, right? But yeah. You know, copper falling out of use in some places, but still used extremely wide. So I would, you know, continue to watch it. Overall barometer, just like oil, right? Let me see here. So that's that. We've got oil, right? Look at that drop in oil this morning. Who made money on this morning? We were set for this, guys. As I told Discord there, you know, that breaking down through there sets it down. We've got this wave 3 circle target down around $96. And it looks like we're just about there. Might get a little bounce and then come down, but ultimately looking for that area. So, man, good money to be made on the shorting that oil there. Still, again, guys, you know, everybody keeps laughing at me when I make these things, but they keep coming true, right? So talked about the top likely being here. Had a rally back up. Looking for a breakdown below this right here at 92.93. That should indicate that wave circle 3 is in progress. And that will have a minimum expected target. Because what's, you know, again, like copper, who needs oil, right? If production's down and traveling's down because everybody's losing their money, right, and losing their jobs and worried about it, and things are becoming more expensive, who's going to buy oil, right? Remember, the two biggest purchasers of oil are cruise ships and airlines, right? That was why we saw that whole collapse of the May 2020 contracts there, WTI, right? Eventually got down to like negative $42. People paying people $42 to take it off their hands, right? But anyway, so that gives us this 62.25 area as what would be wave 3 there on that breakdown, which gets us down here wave A around 47.80 if we come to full extensions. And it doesn't have to, but that's where we'd be looking, guys. So again, you know, and you have to remember, guys, this rally, you know, people go, oh, I can't do that. But guys, this rally, this was that, look at this. I mean, I can't even get it to go down there, right? Look at this craziness, right? That was that May 2020, April 2020 coming into those contracts there, right? And so you've had this 2 plus years of rally, right? Just over 2 years of rally. So yeah, things have to correct, guys. I mean, they're not just going to keep, you know, heading up forever. So there's a big move up. There's a lot of people made so much money. They're so wealthy now for longing that, right? Remember, I told you at the time what people were going to do was they were going to try and find some way to get some offshore storage, right? Some container ships, right? And they did. And what they did was they took the oil off the hands there at negative, so they were being paid to take the oil. They used that money to lease these ships and to transport the oil, because the oil here in the U.S., the WTI oil, is all run through pipelines, right? And so Cushing's that major area, right? So anyway, so they truck all that oil to the tankers, right? And they stick the tankers out at sea for a year or maybe more, and then they just start selling it. And so it cost them basically nothing to do it, and it's all profit, more or less, right? Depending on how low they got and what kind of deals they got. But I told you guys that was what's going to happen, and sure enough, we saw that happening a lot. People have made stupid money. So yeah, I think inflation slowing. Yeah, you remember I told you a few months back I thought maybe it was topped out, and then it went down a month, and then last month it went up a little bit higher. I think we're probably, at that top area. I still do. Yeah, yeah. So, and so with all this stuff kind of dropping, this is going to, like I said, end of Q3, beginning of Q4. I think we see the Fed pull back. No more of these stupid 50 and 75 basis point hikes. Again, they're always behind the curve, right? So things are already coming down. They're going to have to follow with it, right? They're not going to keep rising that through the roof. So I think it's going to give them a lot of ability to ease that pressure of those high interest rates. They're high and raising interest rates really quick. So yeah, that's what I think's going on. But again, we're seeing it here. We're seeing it there. Where else are we seeing it? Same thing I keep showing you guys. Look at the energy chart here, right? This is the Energy Select Sector Spider Fund here, right? Look at that. Topped out, looking for a minimum expected target down here around $42. But very likely could continue down here to, $27, $28. It's wave 2 area. If we look at this, I think I got to really look at this again. I haven't looked at this while the whole count here. It looks like you've got an ABC here, and this looks like an ABC here. Could this be an ABC here? Maybe. I know I've got it as a 5. Maybe it could be an ABC here. If it is, again, this could be a triangle playing out. So we'll get A, B, C. Should get D down here, $30 area, kind of around over here. See how you had the swing high and then the swing low right there, and that created this area right here. So $30, $35, could see that. And so we get A, B, C, we'll get D. Here's the crazy thing, that we'll go E and then we'd go down. So I don't know that I really have a lot of faith in that. It is possible maybe this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then ABC. And then we get this as a 1 and a 2, and it just ultimately means higher energy prices. But again, guys, if we're doing this thing where we're working into a depression, it makes no sense that we're going to have these skyrocketing energy prices. Just based off that. So again, no demand, right? Oil is used for not just transportation, for fuel, but also for, goods, products, right? So if we look at this, again, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 1, 2, 3. So, if I'm looking at this, this looks like potentially a 1, 2 here. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3. Looks like 4 is a flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we get down here. So I think we're still working on wave 1 here. We'll probably come down around this S1 pivot. So 1, 2. Maybe it's in any diagonal. ABC is 1, 2, and then ABC is 3, 4. Come down here. Nonetheless, 1, 2 toward the pivot. Come down. This looks like a flat here. So A, B, C for 4. And we have further downside. So energy just in general, again, coming down a bit here. I'm not going to worry about counting. I just counted that for you guys know what I'm seeing. Let me see here. So ECB and BOJ still trying not to follow the Fed foolishness. Oh, Hank's got so many really, really strong negative attitudes about the U.S. just in general. But yeah, no, they're trying not to. Yeah. Again, we talked about Lagarde and what's going on over there for the last year, right? Let me see here. Let me get a couple more charts for you guys. Natural gas. Let's talk about natural gas here real quick. Man, that oil's just been a great short. Oops. Natural gas doing its thing. Oh, man, it looks like we had a bit of a rally there. Went up higher than I was looking for. Let's see here. Was looking at this as an ending diagonal anyway, so I think that's maybe what we're getting here. Well, no. It wouldn't be an ending diagonal. We got here 1, 2. Leading diagonal. Wow. So this may actually go down further. This looks like this may be just... We'll have to see how we get some more play out of this. Actually, let me do it this way. So 1, 2. But see, that gets back into it. 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Jump in the 15-minute here real quick. Three, 4, 5. Oh, there it is. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So that's a leading diagonal. Looks like here. Potentially off that off wave 3 maybe. Man. So normally what I do is I look at the height of wave 4 to kind of figure out where wave 5 may be targeting minimum. Gives us this $5 area. I don't know. So if we look at this instead, I still think this is an ending diagonal. But that won't be. Doggone it. That's right. It won't be. So that looks like 5 up there. I was thinking maybe we can get like a 1, 2 here, and then a 3, 4. Then we'll get a 5 lower. But I think that may be what's going on. I think they may actually be. Zoom at this larger time frame. 4 hours closing in with oversold. It is oversold here. Looks like it wants to maybe print a bullish divergence. Daily's down there. Yeah, I think this is an ending diagonal. So I think, though, let's see, we're looking right here. So yeah, I think this may be A, B, C is 1, 2, A, B, C is 3, 4, and then we'll get an A, B, C down. Yeah. So I think that may be what's going on there. Ultimately, looking at this kind of S1 pivot, $5.11 to $5 kind of area here, I think for that to be complete there. That certainly won't be wave 3 though off that. If this wave 3 is correct, we've got a 1, 2 here coming down, or an A, B. But yeah, ultimately looking for a drop down toward this S1 pivot area, rally back up to the 1 hour, 4 hour pivot here, and then break down lower is what I'm looking for. Let me see here. Hank says airlines are doing great. Yeah, until when? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about where it's leading to. As the economy cools off, And people are scared they're losing their jobs. We've already got all these huge layoffs and things going on right now. People are not going to be traveling for pleasure as much. It's going to be when the reality hits in. So when that wave 3 hits the stock market, that's when it'll really kind of kick in. I think everybody's going to pull back on what they're spending and do that. What they're doing right now doesn't mean squat. Yeah. Let me see here. Again, silver, we'll jump real quick here. God, I went on a lot longer than I wanted to today. Let me see here. So here we go. I've got this wave 5 I'm looking at down here. Maybe bottom, maybe just about right around this S1 pivot. That gives us a wave 3, wave 4 expected to rally up here toward this wave 4 of the lesser degree, around $20. And then we'll see if we can get it come on back down for wave 5. Gold. Let me see here. Let me see. Gold, again, looking for a wave 3 down here, maybe a 1, 2, maybe a 3, 4, and a 5 still to get down for wave 3 down here, 17.44 and 40 cents. So still looking for that. Again, big picture gold, guys. Looking forward to quite possibly get down to $850, $900, complete a large correction, flat correction off 2011. So A down, B up, and then B up here, and then C down. And then silver, of course, looking at maybe $7 or $8. But anyway, right here also you can look again at the idea that maybe there's a double top here, break down below the swing low here at right around 1675 or so, gives us a pattern target of right around 1339, 1340. But again, that kind of and this would be where you'd expect, right? But that might just be coming down wave 3, right? So 1, 2, 3, you get a 4 and you get a 5 bounce a little bit lower here. So we could see this kind of bounce down here for A, and then up for B, and then C down here. And that could take, another couple of years, right, to fully go through all that, right? So interesting times with gold for sure. The only thing it did differently, remember back here, I talked right down here about how we were going up to 2,000, but I thought we were going to stick just below here and get a different flat. With 5 down, 3 up, and 5 down, and then we broke out above. So now I've got that as 3 down, 3 up, and then we'll have 5 coming down as an expanded flat. But from 2018, looking at what was that? Way down around this area where I told everybody to go long there. So was that September or so of 18, maybe around then? Almost doubled. And so, being right so far, we'll see if we can get to continue on. But, again, everybody laughing. Don't be those people, guys. Don't go there laughing at other people just because you don't agree with what they're looking at. Again, people didn't like the gold count. People didn't like the silver count. People didn't like the DXY. People didn't like the Bitcoin stuff. Well, some of it they liked. It's funny, right? Yeah, premium economy is a lot of airlines are a lot like business class. Yeah. So really kind of, but at a much less cost. Yeah, I would agree with that. How would I say the future charts with volume versus something like? How would you say you use the futures charts with volume? Which futures charts, tell you right? Are you talking about the dollar futures? I would I use it the same way I use it any other time. Yeah, I look at that volume and price action. Sure. I don't treat it any differently. I get that the getting planes out of storage is expensive, Hank, but everybody and their grandmother seems to think that the stock market is just about done pulling back and it's going to go to new all-time highs. They think another 5 years. That includes the same people for the airlines. You seem to think that just because they're bringing it out that they know that they have some kind of magical crystal ball, but they don't. They do what they think. And, everybody else, everything's been doing great. Everybody thinks, it's going to go and continue on. And then it doesn't anymore, right? It's the same thing I've shown you guys for the last 5 years here, happening over and over again with everything, right? Yeah, well, they've gone up. That's the thing. They've gone up hard. But like oil, they've went up hard. It's got to pull back, right? It's got to pull back at some time. Maybe next week. I've got to go here in a minute, guys. But maybe next week or on Friday, we'll take a look at some like airline sector stuff, and we'll check it from there. Let me see here. Real quick, let's see NASDAQ. Where are we at with the NASDAQ? So NASDAQ, just kind of doing this flat thing I was looking at. So A, B, looking for C, maybe around this 50%, 11, what is that, 11,256 area, right around the 1 hour pivot. Looking for a breakdown. Now it's going to be a breakdown below this swing low right here at 10,911.45. Gives you confidence in the count. And then you're looking at the S3 1 hour pivot right around 99.30 for wave 3. Wave parentheses 3 I've got down here at around 90.97. So again, still more downside. Here we are almost top, breaking back out and overbought on the Stochk RSI. RSI is just about to hit bullish, so just almost on the bullish side of neutral. So if it does continue up through there, of course you could always see it end up going up to 78.6 around 11,495. That takes it right into this supply up here, but you can see right there where it's rejected, and then it became support. So to get rejected in that area again would make sense, right? But we'll see if we can get that rejection right in this area. We've got a 1, 2. Looks like we got a 3, 4, and a 5. Maybe do like an ending diagonal here. Let's see here. Yes, then the best person that ever, the best company that was hedging fuel as far as airlines goes was Southwest for the longest time. They did an amazing hedge back in with that 08. Remember when oil hit the all-time high there in 07? They had hedged incredibly leading into that. They were buying oil. Their oil was so cheap when the oil prices were at $147 a barrel. Yeah, Southwest did amazing with it. But again, all the hedging in the world doesn't help with things like COVID, right? And just because you hedge and you have oil there and and you feel like you have to burn it or something doesn't mean that you're going to be making a whole bunch of trips, right? I mean, again, you can't force people to fly. Well, hey, the airlines were already doing it. Southwest just did really good. I forgot who was in charge at the time. I was just like, wow, that was incredible. I don't even remember the numbers anymore, but it was they were paying so cheap. If you guys want to look that up, I think it's online somewhere. But yeah, man, that was such an amazing class in how to hedge oil properly if you're an airline. It was crazy. I mean, they were just so far ahead of their competitors. It was just crazy. All right, so E-minis here, SPX here, just bouncing at this 3740, 3750 kind of area here, right? Looking at potentially like a 1, 2, or I mean a 1 and then A, B, C, 2 is a flat. So I'm looking for a impulsive breakdown here, guys. I want to see some volume, volume like this, and larger candle spreads heading to the downside. I've got a wave 3 target down here at 30.47.5 with that. So that's what I'm looking for there. Let's see here. Yeah, flight is up 93% of pre-COVID times. Yeah, exactly my point. COVID was a hard drop. There's a hard rally out of it. It's just over, it was overdone to the downside, overdone to the upside. And there's then there's correction off that. Yeah. Again, same thing with the Dow here as I'm looking at the S&P minis there, just looking for an impulsive breakdown below 3166. Again, looking at maybe 5 here and then up for 2. So maybe a 1 and then a 2 and then a down. Or this is 1, 2 here. And this is just 1 of 3. So we get 1, 2, 3 kind of coming down. But ultimately looking for this breakdown here at 3166.01, especially impulsively. wave 3 circle target down here, 26,438.5. So there you go, guys, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. You know, again, take it with a grain of salt. You know, do your own research as you do it. I'm not telling you that because that absolves me of responsibility. I have no responsibility to you, right? But these are how I'm playing these, guys. This is how I'm playing the markets, and this is why. That's why I give so much explanation that most new traders get bored. They don't want to listen. They just want, give me the targets. But if you understand why I'm looking at it, it helps you understand whether maybe you think that you should enter or not. And maybe along the same lines, maybe you view it differently. But, you know, the idea is to just start to learn to understand what you're looking at and why. That's what we want to do, right? So yeah, so there you go. That's it. Hey, listen, guys, don't forget, you can jump on over there right here. 4th of July sales. Just going to run it through the end of the week now. But no more after that, guys. Don't DM me anymore. It's 40% off all levels of membership, all-time subscription periods. So a month, quarter, annually, biannually. And then, like I said, I went ahead and added 5 more of these coupons here. Still using the same one right here. Lucky 10 is the coupon code. And that'll give you an additional 20% off the 40% that you've already off there, guys, okay? So if you're really interested in doing it, there you go. You can stack yourself up, ready to rally with us, right? Again, I still think there's a good sign that the bottom may be in here. The fact that everybody's so bearish, especially a lot of your larger accounts, very confident about how it's going down, you know, these big numbers. Same thing with the other ones. So we'll see, right? But guys, listen, don't just blindly trade like that. You know, make sure you understand where your validation, your invalidation levels are. And most importantly, don't forget the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. That's it, guys. So before you do anything else, learn how to properly manage your risk, because you're going to make mistakes, especially at the beginning. You're going to make them a lot of times, a lot more than you're ever going to make good choices. The goal is to save your money so as you don't lose all of it. So as that curve kind of turns back up and flattens out and turns back up and you start getting more consistent, you have money that you'll be able to continue to trade with. Otherwise, you're out in 3 months, 90 days, pissed off, the market stole from you and whatever. They didn't, okay? All right, guys. Hey, I really appreciate y'all checking in. I'll be back on Friday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Same 3 places, YouTube, Twitch, and here on Twitter. Hopefully you guys are maybe liking the Twitter thing too. Seems like we got some viewers there. So just trying to make it easy for you guys to see. Again, guys, I'm not here to blow smoke up your rear ends. I'm here to give you, what I've learned over the last almost 25 years now. Oh, over 25 years, I guess. 95, right? So 27 years now. And just sharing it the best way I can. And hopefully you'll learn something, guys. But like I said, the 2 most important things you'll ever get out of these streams is 1, risk management, the importance of it. 2, 2, right? 2, just being the whole discussions about psychology and the mental aspect of it and the emotional aspect of it. Because you can get all of this right and you won't follow through if you can't get the other part, the part in your head correct. You'll just say, oh yeah, it's going to go here, and then you won't do it. Because up here is still messing with you, okay? All right, guys. Have a great week, all right? And hopefully we'll see you all over in Discord. If you do, if you're new, please say hi, man. We'd love to say hi and see you. If you ever have any issues on there, first person to contact is Adam Harris, because I do all this other stuff. So sometimes it takes me a while to get back to you. But he takes care of all our member support and whatnot. But you can always, again, message me as well. One final thing, guys. We have a lot of idiots that come in there and they try to scam y'all from stuff. Please be careful of that, all right? You don't want people scamming you. And they do it. And they try to act like me or they try to act like Adam. We will never ask you for money in DMs or anything like that. Everything's done through the website. Please make sure that you don't give them money, okay? Just let us know about it and we'll boot them if they're on the server. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I'm out of here. Thanks a lot for checking in. I'll see you guys on Friday. Take care.